People are afraid to fail. But what if I told you failure wasn't an option? Would you turn around and walk the other way? Or would you look it right in his face and say, bring it on? Growing up, a lot of people gave up on my dreams except myself. And that was perfectly fine because I couldn't expect them to see my dreams for what I saw my dreams. I didn't always have the best support from my friends, from my neighbors, sometimes my teachers, and to be quite honest, even my parents. A lot of people said that I couldn't do this or I wasn't going to be able to do that. And for me, that was fine because that was their perception of what they thought. Now, my perspective, that was a different animal because my perspective, I always knew I could do anything that I wanted to do, no matter what anybody else thought. And for me, that has been one of the most powerful tools known to mankind. Now, growing up, I played a lot of sports, but for some reason, I really clinged to football. It was just one of those sports that you really had to go all in. Like any sport, but this particular sport, for me, it always challenged me every time I laced up those cleats and hit the field. I remember the first time I played tackle football for the Belleville Cougars. And I had the opportunity to attend all of Michigan's, the University of Michigan's, football games that season. But this season was very special to me. Not only because it was my first year ever playing tackle football, but I got to watch one of my favorite players of all time by the name of Charles Woodson, Michigan's Mr. Everything. That year, Charles Woodson went on to win the Heisman Trophy for the University of Michigan. But I remember vividly being at the very last game of the season, and the University of Michigan were playing the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Big House in Ann Arbor, in Michigan. And I remember this particular play. I'll never forget it. It was about the second quarter, about 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, and Charles Woodson was back deep to retrieve a punt. And as all I remember, I was sitting somewhere between the 30 and 40 yard line on the University of Michigan sideline in the very front row. And I remember they went to punt the ball, and I'm just holding on to the rail looking over. And I'm like, this is it. It was a booming punt that went sky high. And as all I remember is watching Charles Woodson kind of track back. He caught the ball around the 21, 22 yard line, and he took off. And he cleared a level. And then he cleared another level. And then he cleared another level. And was out into the open, and he just took it right into the end zone. And when I say the stadium was so electrifying, it was so unbelievably loud. I had never heard anything like that in my life. I get chills just talking about it. It was like one of the most amazing feelings I had ever been able to witness. And I say this because that changed my thought process and my perspective on how I viewed things moving forward. It solidified for me that I knew that I wanted to play college football, without a doubt. Just hearing all those fans cheering for that one person running into the end zone, scoring a touchdown, the teammates going crazy, it was like, this is the best thing in the world. How could you not want this? But what I got out of it was, even though people said that I couldn't do that, I asked myself, why couldn't I do that? Was my failure going to be based on what somebody else thought? Is your failure going to be based on what else somebody thinks? I'll answer it for you. It never will be. It never should be. And it never will be. Because what you have to realize, we're all dealt a deck of cards. But how we choose to play that hand is on us. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, whatever route you choose or whatever you choose to do. But the most important thing is, you do what you have to do to succeed, because failure is not an option. Your choices and your decisions are up to you. What you choose to do is up to you. Now, if you live a life scared to fail, then you're not living a life at all.